Hello, my name is Sam, and welcome to my Tiny Glade series. In this series, I typically take the daily Tiny Glade pre-builds and challenge myself to create a visually appealing scene within a 1 hour time frame. Then I edit the footage, add some fast forward effects, and share a few fun tidbits related to the build. In today's video, we're going to be building off the prompt, Fairy Cottage, and learning a bit about fairies and their associations with cottages. Before we get into the tidbits, I would like to address my sickened state. I apologize for the overall stuffiness. I have been battling a relentless sinus infection, and creating these videos are the only thing giving me a semblance of joy at the moment, so just bear with me with this one. Now, onto the learning tidbits. Fairies have existed in myths and legends for centuries, appearing in the folklore of many cultures. Their origins trace back to pre-Christian traditions, where they were often seen as supernatural beings tied to nature, fate, and the spirit world. Three of the main cultures that fairies are predominantly associated with are in Celtic mythology, where fairies are believed to be ancient, powerful beings connected to the land. Some legends say they were once gods who diminished in power and retreated underground. In Norse mythology, they tend to have elves and other spirits that influenced later fairy lore, and in the medieval era, fairies were sometimes seen as mischievous creatures, blamed for misfortunes like missing children or illness. However, by the Renaissance, they became more romanticized, appearing in literature like Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. Over time, fairies transformed from feared supernatural beings to the whimsical winged creatures seen in Victorian art and modern pop culture. So how does this relate to cottages? Fairies and cottages tend to go hand in hand in folklore and literature. Fairies are often depicted as dwelling in forests, meadows, and sometimes near or within cozy cottages. Cottages, in turn, evoke a sense of magic and seclusion, making them the perfect setting for fairy encounters. In Irish and British folklore, cottages were sometimes built away from known fairy paths to avoid angering the fair folk. Cutting down a fairy tree, like a hawthorn, oak, or ash tree, near a cottage was considered bad luck. There are two main types of fairies associated with cottages and cottage living, known as Brownies and Hobgoblins. Brownies originated from Scottish and English folklore and are believed to be benevolent fairy-like beings who help with household chores. They are small, humanoid, and covered in rags or simple clothing. Some stories describe them as slightly hairy or having large, expressive eyes. They live in cottages, barns, or farmhouses, usually hidden from human sight, but always present. Homeowners can leave offerings like milk, honey, or bread to keep them happy, and they're known to clean, mend, and protect homes if treated with respect. They also tend to work at night and prefer to be left alone. Myths say that you will offend a brownie by offering them clothes, and if they are mistreated, a brownie will turn into a boggart, which is a mischievous and harmful spirit. Boggarts are shapeshifters who enjoy stealing food, breaking things, and disturbing sleep. In worst cases, they cause illness, poltergeist activity, or bad luck. Which leads me into hobgoblins, who are primarily featured in English folklore. Hobgoblins are similar to brownies, but more mischievous. The word hob comes from an old term for hearth, tying them to home life. They look like small, hairy goblins or gnomes with pointed ears and long fingers. They help with housework, like brownies, but enjoy playing pranks on humans. A hobgoblin might tidy your kitchen one night, but trip you on the stairs the next. Like brownies, they hate being thanked or given clothes, and will leave if offended. Some famous brownies and hobgoblins from modern literature and pop culture are Dobby and Creature in Harry Potter, These two creatures are based on Brownie lore, especially their reaction when given clothes. Boggles, in the Spiderwick Chronicles, are a mix of brownies and hobgoblins. And finally, we have Puck, the mischievous hobgoblin, in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Another thing associated with fairies and cottages is the natural phenomenon of fairy rings. Fairy rings are caused by underground fungal growth, where the root-like structure of fungi spread outward in a circular pattern, producing mushrooms along the edges. Over time, they grow larger, sometimes spanning several meters. A visible circle of mushrooms is called a mushroom ring, but sometimes underground fungal activity can cause the grass to grow in a darker color, creating a ring adaptly named grass rings. Some fairy rings have been around for hundreds of years, and while primarily legends are known to originate in Europe, fairy rings can be found all over the world. Africa is home to the famous Namib Desert Fairy Circles. Japanese folklore links circles to yokai spirits, and fairy rings are common in Canadian woodlands. However, the largest recorded fairy ring is located in France, stretching over 600 meters wide. Found in grasslands, meadows, forests, and cottage gardens, these mushroom circles are believed to be portals to the fairy realm, and it is highly suggested that you stay clear of them. Fairy rings are believed to be spots where fairies danced at night. Humans who stepped inside a ring could become trapped in the fairy realm or be forced to dance forever. Time inside the ring might move differently. A few minutes inside can mean years in the real world. In German folklore, fairy rings were caused by witches who danced in a circle, leaving behind a mark of dark magic. In French tales, they were the devil's work, and stepping inside could bring illness or bad luck. And in Norse legends, they were called elf rings, and if someone disturbed a ring, elves would seek revenge, bringing misfortune. Both fairies and cottages symbolize a simpler, magical way of life, deeply connected to nature and old world traditions. I hope you enjoyed today's video and learned a bit more about fairies and their relationship to cottages. If you did, please give this video a like and follow to stay up to date on my next upload. And if you leave this video with one message, let it be, stay clear of the fairy rings. Maybe that's what's caused my sickness. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!